Let's go. bad feeling about this. I got a bad feeling about this.
Let's go!
Gosh. Hello, 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 and welcome to another one line of code. He totally messed up my intro. My intro was supposed to be hello, all of you wonderful people, to this most social of days. I hope you are having a fantastic Friday. All right. I will see you all next time. Thank you for joining. That was supposed to be the joke, you know. That I didn't get to. Yes, my overlay still says on the phone with PM. Invite him to community day. That would have been perfect. Oh man, that'd have been good. He needs to pay for it by gifting everyone subs. Oh man. Good times though. I honestly do hope you are all having a fantastic Friday. It's been a fun. I wasn't here on Monday and Wednesday because I was over at my parents' house celebrating Independence Day. We hung out with them, and on Tuesday shot off some fireworks. My brother stopped by with his family and extended family. I'm sure you guys know how comfortable I was in that situation. All fingers and faces intact? Maybe. I mean, it's hard to tell with my brother. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm allowed to talk about my brother like that. Supposedly, it's good sibling rivalry or some BS like that. Were there any chats that I wanted to actually respond to? There were some jokes coming in. So I really did like the soap opera one. That almost got me to laugh out loud. The blockbuster one. And then there was one that I actually responded to. I didn't understand the skeleton one though, Thindal. I might need that one explained to me. And of course, live coding. Peter talking about actual stuff. Oh, that was the one. I'm sorry. So the one that Peter wrote, where he said, "Make a programmer cry with 4 words, off by 1." Oh, I love that. That's gold. That's gold. Programming skills, primarily Ruby and Python, but I can use any type of gem to control any type of snake. Oh, jeez. PHP is a minor evil perpetrated and created by incompetent amateurs, whereas Perl is a great and insidious evil perpetrated by skilled and perverted professionals. Joe Ribbons. Million of these at this Twitter. Am I following you on Twitter? I have a Twitter account. I'm going to follow you. I'm following you on Twitter now. Ooh. I have messages in Twitter. What the is Twitter? Hello, hello, hello. Do you like the way I say hello? Hello. Playing manager sounds like a new game. But yes, welcome in. We are finally getting started. Today is community day. I am just now hopping into the voice channel, in to which it looks like Thindal has beat me there. Are you ready to come into the voice channel, Thindal? Let me start my virtual camera. Hi. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, the Thindal. Let me get to this screen so that we have our overlays. Do a mic check.
How are you?
Doing fantastic. How are you?
All? I am doing all right. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Yes,
Oh no.
yes.
Peter says he has to drive soon. but it'll just troll. Troll.
I do not have a picture in Discord,
Thindal GPT.
I think.
What do you mean by that? Oh, because I haven't started it.
Well,
Sorry.
yeah.
I was
all
in the
right.
middle of starting it.
There you go.
So, yeah. So, what happened in
Hello.
this week in tech? I mean, in Thindal Tech.
In Thindal Tech, well, I just pressed a button, and it was nerve-wracking to push that button. It said submit session. So I just submitted a session to a conference.
Submit session. Right. I remember you starting
Yeah.
to talk about the conference stuff.
Hi, Jern. Well, we need
Hello,
one
Irish
more
John
bestie to
Games.
come on, chat.
We don't need, but you are all invited and welcome.
Yeah, but I want at least one more bestie to
Ooh.
come on
They
comms.
want a preview of what you're going to talk about.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Well, it's about my stream project, more or less.
Oh,
It's about how to
migrations.
think and plan a migration from a old framework
Oh,
over
I
to a
love
new
this
one.
topic.
Yeah. And trying to do it without breaking everything in between and being able to, push out new features on the old framework, even though it's in the middle of a conversion, without having to redo all of the work afterwards to get things working. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you
That's
have
what
an
I'm going to talk about.
First, if you aren't following Irish John Games, head up there. We'll give Thindal a proper shout out soon. But definitely check out Irish John Games working on Rise of Piracy. Check it out on Steam. Dukasoft posted the link, or told the bot to post the link. And then we'll do Big Gamey and that's all we've had
Could
so far.
always paste. Let's see here.
I mean, we could do like a regular shout out. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm sure you have what are they called? Lips.
What called?
Oh yeah. Which are
No,
usually
a guy called Dan built it. Oh, yeah, that is an old clip that maybe I should actually remove. He's a nomad developer. He's living in Thailand.
so
Just
weird
doing
hearing that
startups
twice.
and trying to find, the golden goose, the golden egg. Yeah, you're hearing me from the one clip as well, right? Build that will make you never have to work again. Yeah, for me it's entirely quiet. Look at my gun. I can imagine leaving your screen audio and your music to.
It's only a
Discord.
little nerve
That's
wracking,
fine.
like you were talking about.
Neo, actually, the upgrade assistant is.
Not great.
As soon as you start talking about somewhat complex applications, it is not that great anymore.
Yeah.
Jern, that game is. What's it called?
I have no idea. Dead by Daylight?
Blood. Back for Blood.
Back
Back
for
for
Blood.
Blood.
The only games that I know are ones that I see advertised at the very top of Twitch. Yeah.
Nah, the upgrade assistant, I mean, it gives you a couple of help. Well, it gives you a lot of help if you have a very rudimentary application. It could probably do the whole thing. But if you have anything that's even slightly advanced, it will not do it. There
But
is an
it does
upgrade
give you
planner, though.
It gives you a good readout of things to
Yeah,
consider.
I think that's upgrade planner, not the assistant. And the planner is great because it'll tell you like exactly what APIs you're using that are not supported.
Yep.
It'll go through your project infrastructure and like tell you that this library is okay, this one is not. I can really recommend that tool, but the assistant that's supposed to do it automatically doesn't.
Oh.
It's one of those, great for presentations when everything is prepared and easy to do. And then you try to use it in real life and turns out that's not quite true. They
Just gotta go
do
through this.
say that, run it and then you'll probably have to go back and fix a few things.
Yeah, I mean, it's
AKA,
almost guaranteed that you will have to if you're going from .NET Framework to .NET Core.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I tried it. I mean, I ran like a preview and it did maybe 5%.
Yeah, that
And that
was
was
the
after I converted it to MVC from web forms.
2017 was a hard time for that because that was when they were first putting it together. And I think it was an enterprise preview when I used it. So I was like, man, this is awesome. Because, they had the ones for 2000, Visual Studio 2008 projects to 2015. And I'm like, there has to
Hmm.
be something. And they're like, well, we have this new upgrade assistant, which is essentially the same tool, but actually branded and named. Um, and I tried it, and there was just like nothing that it could do. Like it was just
Yeah.
telling me this is incompatible, this is incompatible, and there's very, very, very little auto magic conversion.
Yeah, and it also updated my project file, so nothing worked. Because the
Oh yeah,
project file said net core
that's the
all of a
one thing it
sudden.
does do. Very much a fail trumpet. Thank you so much for your bits, Dukesoft. Reminds me of NuGet package upgrades.
Shove everything.
Wonders
Oh,
why.
live coding. I did that. That
Uh-huh.
is, that way lies problems. Uh, you can manage all of the NuGet packages from a single place when you do updates and such. And that's, you right click on the solution and select manage NuGet packages instead of going into the projects. That way you can, what's it called? When you bring different things together. I can make sure that all the DLLs, all of your libraries are using the same version.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Napalm.
Napalm.
Consolidate is the word I was looking for.
Consolidate. Topic change Whiplash. Do you know of any tools that are good for generating screenshots for a WPF application?
Generating screenshots
So, like
for
tools
WPF.
similar to Steps Recorder, where you can just click through an app and it'll record what you do. It's just, I need something more specific for the app itself.
Hmm.
I don't know if something
Do you want
like
to
Playwright does that.
be able to like play it back in the application?
No, no. Just want to be able to capture screenshots. I'm updating the specs or spec document.
Can't you just do OBS in the record?
Scribe. What is Scribe? No, I need screenshots. So a Word document that has
Oh yeah,
pictures
but
in
you
it.
can always screen cap out of the video.
So why not just do it while the app is open? Because like I have
Uh,
two of them. I have well like the basic Power Toys snipping
yeah,
tool,
I
and then
believe that
what is this one called?
Zoomit has screenshot functionality that will dump it into a folder. Do not quote me on that though.
I don't think of what this one is called.
I mean, basically what you want to do is snap a screenshot and have it create a new file somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
just
Which it
more
does,
screenshots
like
over and
it
over.
does all of the screenshots backed up to a folder. So all I have to do is alt print screen and it'll capture the window.
Hmm. Yeah.
The other thing that I have used is whatever this tool is called that I can't tell because when you hover on it, it doesn't say the product name. Screen something. Lightshot. So Lightshot is great.
Never
As
used it.
far as being able to select an area on your screen and then just pushing a button and it will reuse that area over and over. So even if it's
Ooh,
not just the window that you want to capture, but maybe dialogues that pop up on top, then it'll capture that too.
nice. Fancy. Had no
Um,
idea.
my PM is wanting to automate it so that maybe we can have something like Playwright click through the app and then screenshot on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scribe how?
Does I didn't know Playwright did WPF. I thought it was only web,
Playwright
but
does WPF
see what
when
I
you're
know.
using
See what
Blazor.
I know. Ah, fancy.
Oh, nums. Yeah, Blazor. Create SOPs, training documents.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like this. I like the sound of this, so I'll definitely take a closer look at that. Back, Mojo. Okay, back to your topics. What else is going
Well, not a whole lot.
on? Just
First
the
week
one really
of,
big
of
thing that's going to
yeah,
stress you
exactly.
out.
Just one huge thing. I submitted it to a conference that has a last submission date this weekend. So I got slightly panicked and got it done. It's usually
Gosh.
what I need to do, what I need to have. I'm one of those, college kids that, oh,
Mm.
it's the last weekend or the last night. I better do this 3-month long project now. Also, I never went to college, but yeah,
I
that's not the
met
point.
I met someone. I met an actual real person while I was over at my parents' house.
Say what?
I think it's my brother's stepdaughter's boyfriend. And he's like, I'm only 20 something credits away from my computer science degree. Should I go back to college? Because it's been like 3 years. He had to take a break from it because of circumstances. Oh my gosh, and we just got a raid. Hold on. Hold on. Maybe they are not getting a commercial because pre-roll ads are turned off currently. Let me welcome everyone real quick, Thindal, and then we will keep talking. Hello,
Yeah.
everyone that is here. Thank you so much for the raid, Miss Pixie. Awesome of you to be here. We are currently on our community day, and so today is a day that I invite members of our community to join us on Discord voice channel. Today with us we have none I can't even introduce you. None other than the .NET migration guru himself, Thindal. So if you guys don't know Thindal, feel
Hello.
free to check out his channel. We'll do a regular shout out. And Amin. Wait, Amin is trying to come in. Hold on. No worries. Thank you so much for bringing the raid. I hope you have a great and fantastic rest of your day. There are no obligations to stick around, no butthurt feelings. Just thank you.
Miss Pixie, what are you having for dinner or lunch?
Don't stop them from going.
The important questions.
Run, eat. If you feel like telling us what you're going to eat, then please do. Otherwise,
Or just run. Yeah.
yeah.
Pasta.
Pasta.
Nice.
2-day-old pasta. Resistive carbs, resistive starch. Flee now. While you still can. But yeah. So then back to the really quick story. I met him and said hi. He followed us, which is cool. Maybe he'll be here someday, but he's like wanting to get into software dev, and just I love encouraging people to do it. It's never too late. And he is proof of it. He's already gone so far, and he is 10 or 20, 15 years ish past college age, typical college age, but he's doing it.
Yeah.
Just
I
motivational
mean, is
stories
there
with how it's
really an
supposed to be.
age? I
Exactly.
know this.
Exactly.
But you said 20 points off.
Years.
How much is that?
Age. Oh, 20 credits? 21 credits. I think he said 21 credits.
Yeah.
But it's
How long a
about
time is that?
4-ish credits, 3 to 4 credits per course, right?
All right. And how many courses in a
How
year?
many credits are in a typical? I did my CS degree late in life. Did it as a conversion master's.
Okay, so Mojo, about a year then, right?
11 to 12 credits is where he's at. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
I just remembered. So it's typically about 3 credits per class, and so about four courses.
And a CS degree is usually about 5 years in
4.
total.
Oh
4.
yeah, I guess it depends on where you go. So at the university he's attending, it is a 5-year program. I think
I'd
still.
say do it. I
Yes.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I encouraged
If
him
he
to if
hadn't
he is able
started
to.
and was thinking about it, I wouldn't have
Exactly.
started. But
Exactly what
since
I told
he's,
him.
3 or 4 years in, go for it.
Yep. and only it's pretty much one semester.
Yeah.
If he loads it down
Well, if he
with all of his
crams, then
classes.
maybe.
Yeah, but I'd still split it up
Plus,
into 2 semesters.
what does he do now? Is it anything in a related field or?
No, it is not.
No.
But he wants to
Okay.
get into like the the course he took or the path he took, and the reason he took that path, I'm like not really enthusiastic about. But apparently he's attending the same university I did, and when I started, the computer science course program curriculum, whatever it's called, was first year is C, C++, object oriented programming type stuff. Let's introduce you to it, and then Java, and then that's when you were like starting to go out, but it was still centered around C, C++, and Java, maybe PHP, maybe JSP if you're doing web technologies, database stuff, logic. But no Fortran, what a waste. But he's like, they have you pick a path and you choose either Java, I think it was JavaScript that he said, JavaScript or Python. And I
Oh,
was like, what? So he chose
so
Python, and I'm like, okay. And was there a reason? Is there a particular field you want to go into? No, I was just told that that one is the easiest to learn. I'm like, okay, that's. I guess it could be true for some people, but it
I
might not be
don't
as easy to
understand the
transition.
fascination with
Mm-mm.
Python. I mean, it's not a bad language, except
Yeah.
it's a bad language.
For me, it's
It,
like, is it related to the thing you want to work on? Like, it's great for data
Mhm.
sciences. It's great for a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
but I think the reason it's great for data science or data scientists is because as a language, it's easy-ish. It's not all these, secret characters and parentheses everywhere. It's
Right.
simple to read. So the people who are using it in that field aren't really programmers, but they are able to program, if that makes sense.
Also
And
great for
because of that, I
prototyping
mean, all
things.
of the
That's a good.
tools are compatible with Python as well.
Yeah.
The problem in my mind, or
Mhm.
in my opinion, is that Python really encourages bad practices. With,
It
I mean,
encourages Pythonic practices. And
yeah, but
yes,
if you're going to
Pythonic
move
is a
over to
word.
something else afterwards, if you're going to move on from Python into another language and you
Right.
start out with
That's where I
Python,
was
I
saying
think,
like translating Python to something like similar syntax languages, C, C++, Java,
yeah,
C sharp, even
hmm
JavaScript. It's different enough that it might be harder to transition from Python to those languages than those languages to Python.
yeah, exactly.
And
But
Johannes says, I'm a third year
if your
where
target is non-programmer, then absolutely Python.
hmm, I still can't fully agree with that. But that's fine. I don't have to agree with it.
Well,
But yeah, Johannes says, I'm a third year and we are taking distributed systems, compiler design. Oh, I hated my machine level courses so much. That was definitely not for me. And then Owen mentioned that Python is great for prototyping things that get put into production and then don't scale. Wink. And
I
President
think
Nacho is
Python
like, I can't
has
stand Python.
some frameworks that do scale fairly well.
Oh yeah.
Might need to scale it vertically instead of horizontally, but
Hmm.
it is scalable these days. You can do a lot with it.
Mojo said a lot of universities are doing that, the whole pick your path kind of thing. And then he's debating on not starting a CS degree, also late in life. So if you have not started it, the recommendation that I gave to him before I knew that he had already started his degree was if you are the type of person that needs structured learning, you need an instructor to help guide you or peers to work on projects with, then try technical colleges or something that is more specific to the industry, because universities have all of the extra overhead of general education classes and just a whole bunch of stuff that's not really related to your field, even though they're
Yeah,
beneficial in the long run.
I was actually thinking about that. Like we're talking about CS as a programming from a
Right,
programmer perspective,
right.
but it's so much more, isn't it? Isn't it down to like
Yeah,
logic
yeah.
gates and like building your own simple little processor and
Yeah,
things like
and
that?
the philosophy behind programming. So it's everything when you're talking computer science, you're not necessarily talking software development. You're
Yeah,
talking the
exactly.
full um, scope of
Yeah,
everything that technology means.
yeah. And I mean, if you want to go into programming specifically, you don't need all of that.
Um,
It's like, why? This is going to be a programming example, but why would I need to have experience writing a lexer for a compiler, you know? It's like, if I
I mean,
need to
it
do
could be
that, I
because
can look
they're
it up.
yeah. It might be something you could learn, but first you need to learn how to learn, and that's what a lot of people need university for.
All right. All right. Yeah. I was just thinking, like, how often does this problem come up in real life?
Yeah.
It's not that common. So maybe you could do without that kind of stuff. And if you need it at some point, there are always resources out there.
Yeah.
If you want to
But
go
you would
really
have to
deep
know how
into
to
it, there
find
are
them.
resources written by someone from a university, probably with a doctorate.
Typically. With videos and written material all the same.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um where did I leave off? Amin said, I used Python for 5 years as part of my AI university degree and regret those 5 years. Aw. Then Peter said, I will say that helping my teammate upgrade Python 3.6 to 3.9 has given me great respect for .NET Core's compatibility story. Oh man. I'm not even gonna go there. It encourages quick and dirty paradigm. Yeah, just throw it together. Create a file, put some script in it. Yeah. Um, President Usher said, I forgot about the updating story with Python. What a nightmare. Mojo said, are we talking skill set or switching code? Skills, both. Both. So even the way that you do logic in Python, in my opinion, just from the little bit of it that I played with for doing natural language processing, for example, the logic was very different than the way that I would think through solving it using another object oriented language.
Hmm.
So both skill set and switching between the codes. Fun fact, Azure Linux VMs require Python 3.6 to function. Whoa. And I mean, were you asking if we preferred Django or Flask versus
I've
Flask?
got a story for after you've
Yeah.
read chat.
Okay, let me catch up then. Almost there. Owen said, don't pay attention to me. I am. I'm writing an OS in Z80, and that's what I'm talking about. So there are people, and one of the things that I wanted to respond to you, Thindal, about is that another thing I think universities do is they try to expose you to everything so that you can find something that draws you, but they also want someone to create the next operating system that is different than everything we currently have. So let's teach people about writing a lexer for a compiler,
Oh, yeah, sure.
that kind of thing. A lot of universities are doing Python or JS, is what I meant. Yeah, from that comment earlier. Then Johannes said they have us take most of the courses, either C, C++, and Java. Only machine learning courses are given in Python. That's what I would have expected, but again, I don't know enough about Python. And then Peter said, I wish we had boot camps when I was college age. Even a slow boot camp, 2 years would be great. Yeah, and I wish I had made the decision to do technical college instead. That's specific to just computer science because I got really high marks for computer science courses, and then everything else I got C's and D's and a really low GPA as a result. In retrospect, I need a lot more programming practice than I got in college, absolutely. And I did not want to take a bunch of other courses, me either. Even the math courses were not strictly necessary, though they were kind of helpful. True. Physics and which is the other one that I took? Chemistry were my two science courses, as opposed to chemistry, biology, and I think we had one other choice. Those are the only ones that I can think of. But could have done without those. Didn't need them. Didn't interest me. And then finally, Owens, especially on. Sorry, I'm all skipping to Pixel's comment. On Community Day. Yep, this is a perfect shirt for Community Day. Wore it on purpose, obviously. So then Owen said, at my university, they alternated between Java, C++, depending on what year you attended. Oh, interesting. Maybe that's why I had to do both. Maybe ours did that too, but because I had to repeat my first year, it felt like I did both at the same time. Since I mostly worked in enterprise software, Java worked out for me. Same here, same story. But I was the tech writer, not the developer. Interesting, and I was definitely the developer. All right, Thindal. Sorry, you have a story.
Yeah. First of all, just a comment on the comments or the
Yeah,
chat.
please do.
The word bootstrap for me has some, or sorry, boot camp has some negative connotations.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when I hear that word, I think those, you'll have a job within 3 months of starting this course,
Oh
and
yeah.
like a 2-year technical college. I'm not sure if I'd call that a boot
A boot
camp,
camp.
but yeah, you can't learn programming properly in a few months of work, even if you do it full
I
time.
won't say
I think
can't,
you can get your
but I
feet
know what you mean.
wet, absolutely, but enough to get a job, I'm not sure.
I
Maybe,
think there
maybe
are
a
gifted
very
people
junior
in the
position.
world.
Oh,
That's what I think.
definitely, definitely. But the question is, do they need a boot camp?
Right.
Yeah. Story time.
Yes.
Microsoft at least used to have a team on the Windows team, like a sub team, that did only compatibility with major software. Because they had some problems with a lot of software using bugs in ways that they were not supposed to use them. Like they
Using
used
bugs.
undocumented features and weird
Oh,
behavior and stuff with the
okay.
Win32 API. So they literally had a team that dealt with compatibility for like major software like Photoshop, etc.,
Okay.
AutoCAD. So they'd recreate the broken behavior for certain applications as it got fixed in the next version, just
As a
so the
feature.
old versions would keep working. Yeah, exactly. So it's like if Photoshop introduced this bug again, or this undocumented behavior that we fixed. It sounds so stupid, but it's what they had to do because,
Well, they're
I mean,
definitely not
we
doing it
we
now
always
because
find a way of doing something in a way that we're not supposed to do it, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
And then
not
they
doing it
fix
now
it and
because
everything breaks.
we have those exact types of situations in the application that I work on for my for real job.
Mm-hmm.
And they changed the WMI, for example, a lot. And there are so many things that we were leveraging that weren't actual features in the WMI that we can no longer use now. So we had to do it the right way, which I'm a fan of. But
Yeah, but you do it the right way in the next version, right?
right.
The problem is everyone running the old version out
Yep.
there.
Yep.
But yeah,
So
absolutely,
much
Owen.
regression.
If you have a rival doing something and you kind of want to kill them, then you don't fix those undocumented things for them. Not
Are
sure if
you
they
guys
like
partners?
literally went in to break it, but they didn't really
Yeah.
respect how they were using it.
They also broke certain. Is that what you were responding to? Owen's comment?
Yeah, exactly. Where they broke certain software on demand.
Bad old Microsoft.
Yeah.
I mean, I could still see they're still a corporation, so you could still see some of that happening. But
Oh, definitely. And it's a huge corporation, even after all the layoffs. I mean, they're what? 110,000 employees or something worldwide? Still?
only
Yeah, only.
that it honestly isn't that much. But I didn't know that either, Peter. Talking about NVIDIA drivers having those types of things for AAA games,
I'm
game
not
ready
sure if
drivers for
it's
X
so much
game.
breaking it. Isn't it more like the game developer requesting, couldn't you fix this for us, please?
Well,
Because
he's
that would
saying like
make our
what
lives so much easier.
your initial comment was essentially that there was this thing that existed that they were using or leveraging that wasn't supposed to exist. So then they patched
Yeah.
that. And then the game developer would be like, we kind of need it to behave like that. So
Ah,
can you make it
yeah.
behave like that again?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, we'll create a
Yeah.
driver
All
just
right.
for
Yeah,
your game.
exactly then. Exactly that then.
I'm a little fuzzy on the
Okay.
details, so assume I get every detail wrong. Okay, Napalm wants to come in too.
I'd say I'll
Any of the voice
assume that you
channels.
got like 50% of the details wrong, but I won't tell you what 50%.
The good 50%.
That's up to the reader, like an exercise for the reader. Napalm, he'll pull you in from the stream waiting room, I think.
And you would most likely want to actually mute the stream for yourself so that you could
Yeah.
hear and see
He's
us.
in the lounge right now.
Yep. Dropping him in and 3. Done.
3,
I count
done.
fast.
I love it. I love it. Napalm, you're muted.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
Now you're not.
jeez. Yeah, we heard you.
Hey, mate.
Mic check.
Mic check. What's it all about? Bad rap. Ignore me.
No,
Nah,
you are
we won't
in the
ignore
voice
you.
channel. You cannot be ignored.
Damn it. Whoops.
It's all your fault. So welcome in. Welcome in. Hello again.
Yeah. Hello, hello.
Oh, hello. So this stream is PG-13, right?
I mean, it's be respectful. Be mindful.
Yeah.
So if you're going
'Cause
to
if-
curse, you can curse, but just be mindful.
Yeah, I was thinking if it is PG-13, you're allowed 1 F word per stream. Per the actual regulations.
Like if you can use other vocabulary that people aren't upset by, then use those words. But if it's
Yeah.
appropriate for what you're trying to say, then use it.
Let's swear a lot, but call it frack instead. You know,
So that
frack
kind of thing
was
just doesn't make sense.
conspiracy.
And it's like if you're gonna say fark or shook or something that's
Yeah.
replacing the same word that just happens to be a bad word, why not just say the bad word? It means the same thing with the same
Or
intent.
Fortran.
Or Fortran.
What the Fortran?
Shut the Fortran. That didn't work. Anyway, what's going on, Napalm? What are you working on? What are you doing? What's got you excited?
I'm eating lunch right now, actually.
Oh.
Didn't figure
Oh.
anybody would hear me gnawing on my hamburger.
I don't know. Last time Peter was in here, he was burping up a storm. No, it wasn't on purpose. He thought he was muted.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It was awesome.
Yeah, nougat packages was blocked by. Actually, the
nougat
second
is
one,
considered a swear word.
Yeah, a derogatory word. And thank you so much for the follow, Owen. Really appreciate that. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're typically working on this app, which is a financial management project with using Blazor, full stack, cross-platform, all that fun stuff. But Fridays, like you can see, are fun days where we just hang out with each other and talk tech.
Yeah, I think Fridays we mostly have studio as like a backdrop for our talk.
Most
or
of the
if you
time
get
I'm
like
scrolling
5
through
minutes
chat.
over, you can always just poke a bit.
And you too, 25 gold, 25. It's just gold. Just say gold.
Hello, gold.
I was trying to find the actual phrase. I think it was nougat reference, but nougat package was I already added it to the whitelist, and you have to like put the whole phrase. So this time it was like nougat reference, comma. It was weird.
Yeah, shouldn't you be able to just add nougat?
I did.
By the way, is it nougat or nugget?
I say nougat. I don't know what the official pronunciation is.
Napalm?
He says,
you know things.
1% of the streamers that just say gold. Did I offend you by just saying gold? Because that would be a bad reason to be a 1%er.
We could call you
Ooh.
25.
I love your logo. Super Ultra Combo 2023. Oh, I love
What
this
is
thing.
that?
This badge. Can I show it? Yeah.
Awesome. Let's call it gold.
Badge right here.
Super ultra.
No,
Okay.
I
If
answered.
user join a thingy. All right.
I was just
All
gonna
right,
say
go.
live coding. If NuGet packages is a swear, I think that's what is bleeped out. Then I was gonna say Python's a real swear, but
Oh jeez.
you know.
Yeah, we said Fortran before.
all of these other languages that we shouldn't be using.
Napalm. A or B
Yeah.
question. Nougat or nugget?
NuGet or Nugget? It's NuGet.
Yeah. All right.
Do you
So
have
we're 3 for 3.
an authoritative source telling you that it's NuGet?
Because I said so.
Because I said so. So right
Yeah.
now it is just NuGet because you know what? Let's do a poll. Poll. How do you even do polls? Dukasoft does all my polls for me.
Owen, what's your
Pronunciation.
dialect of basic? Was it
Nougat
Z80?
or nugget?
Because that was my, well, ZX basic was my first programming language.
5 minutes is
Well,
a
okay,
long
so
time.
sorry.
Let's
I
just do
started
2.
poking QBasic, but then I moved over to ZX. NuGet. Close enough.
It's not gonna. You know what? Maybe I will do it the
Hey.
way.
So Owen, do you know what a ZX spectrum is?
ZX
I
Spectrum.
think that's kind of what you're talking about.
Oh, wait. You're talking my era's technology. I mean, I
Your
don't know what a
eras.
ZX Spectrum is though. There's all the UK ones.
Yeah.
Not the
I
EU.
have
the
a ZX Spectrum like
Nougat.
a meter away from me, 3 feet.
Oh, crap.
Maybe I should use imperial units when I'm in a room
What?
full of Americans.
That's better. My headphones weren't paired. I was listening to the audio with noise canceling headphones on through my phone, which is where I have the voice chat, and I'm looking at the video over on my iPad. So I got way too many devices going
Yeah,
on.
this is why I have the virtual camera turned on in Discord so that you don't have to worry about the lag and all that.
I mean, no one ever said there was enough screens in the world, so I just keep adding screens.
So with Mojo Fawed's comment though, consider the first one either nougat as in new and nougat as in moo. Same sound as moo. Moo.
I mean, I'm
Which I
thinking.
guess is cheating.
No, I'm thinking wrong. Never mind. I started playing the words back in my head and like, no, I was thinking wrong.
I
Or
guess not nugget or anything else. Like what? WHY2.
that Nugent.
Is that actually how you
New
pronounce that?
get, in my opinion.
No, not new. New.
No, nougat.
New.
Nougat.
It's like teaching people how to speak a foreign language. Yay! And there you have it. Results are in. People say nougat or nougat. Nougat. Oh no. Peter. Just like in the word GIF, right?
And don't forget about the cube control, cube cuddle holy war.
Oh,
Capital.
that's yet
It's
another
cube cuddle,
reason
by the
not to
way.
use Kubernetes. Yeah,
I
I've
don't even
only
care.
heard the cuddle.
We need
Yeah,
more cuddling in
that's
programming. It's totally cube cuddle.
that's yet another reason why you should really consider not using Kubernetes.
The Quebec tool.
Yeah. Shots fired.
Not
though.
consider using Kubernetes because you must hate yourself if you make that decision. So
Oh
yeah.
no.
Well,
Peter
don't
said
get me
he has to
wrong,
be
I
driving
love
soon,
it.
but that would be a I'm sure he has a few things to
Don't get
say
me wrong.
about that.
I love the platform, and maybe I'm a little insane that I want to play with it. But do you think I'm going to recommend that to an employer if I'm the only one that knows anything about it? Hell no.
playing around with things is fine, but
Not when an employer has money on the lines. I ain't going to be on the hook
no.
when that thing blows up on after hours at 3 a.m.
Yeah. I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm a little bit of the opinion that if you think you might need Kubernetes, you probably don't need Kubernetes. It's if you know that you need it that you do.
Any Kubernetes
I would argue
service
nobody knows that they
whatever it's
need
called.
that.
No, I mean, do you get what I mean? It's like if you
No, I
think you
get what you're
might need
saying.
it, you're probably after it because it's the latest big buzzword, and that means you're in for a world of hurt.
I mean, even I'm trying to remember the dude's
The
name from
Mars
Google,
zones.
Kelsey Hightower, I want to say. He did the Kubernetes the hard way thing. Even he says, like, I mean, nobody should really be using Kubernetes. It should be abstracted away. So,
Yeah.
take that for what it's worth.
hmm Yeah, I think
So
Azure
it
has
kind of
a
sounds like
Kubernetes
They
application
do
that, yeah,
container apps.
yeah. Yep. It kind of sounds the same as like jQuery. If the app is already using jQuery, then use it. Otherwise, don't start using it.
yeah, don't start a new application or anything using jQuery today.
jQuery will never
Yeah.
die. I'm fairly certain ChatGPT will start writing Skynet in JavaScript and jQuery at some point.
Probably. jQuery was
Start
great when
writing
it came
Skynet.
out,
That's
but
funny.
JavaScript or ECMAScript kind of adopted many of the good parts of jQuery and made them first-party language things.
Yep, like dot query selector. Oh, I love dot.
Yeah, I
query
don't think you
selector.
could query that way in JavaScript when jQuery came out. It was something they added on top of it, and
Yeah.
then ECMAScript later adopted it.
I'm of the mindset that Judgment Day will start due to a type coercion error because of JavaScript.
Probably.
I could see it.
Mhm.
Service fabric. Blah. Also called Microsoft.
I didn't think
College.
anybody actually used Service Fabric for anything.
I like how you guys are talking about Skynet like it's in the future.
Oh no, it's here. It just hasn't become fully aware of itself yet.
I'm
Sure.
still waiting for the singularity when we'll become pets to our robotic overlords.
Overloads. Overload stones.
Always say please and thank you to Siri, so you have a less
Exactly.
meaningless job during the
I don't
apocalypse.
know. I would say be genuine with them. That's the way that you'll get points.
The only time you shouldn't say please and thank you to your AI friend is when you're paying per word. Because you're integrating with it from your application. You're paying per
token.
what is it, token or something? Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
But in
isn't
that
that the
case, you can
equivalent of a
skip.
tip?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Exactly. It would be. Good analogy.
Always tip your AI, folks. They work for a living too.
I was annoyed that I didn't get the gig of writing snappy responses for Siri. Was that actually a thing? Sounds like it would be a real thing.
Someone must have written them, right?
Oh, jeez.
Remember in the early days when there weren't as much filters and Siri first came out, you could ask it stuff like, "Hey Siri, I'd like to hide a body," and it'd be like, "Are you looking for a culvert, a underground mine, a dump?"
Awesome. There was a
That said, it probably
thing
put me on
going
a
around here
list,
in
I'm sure.
Sweden where you could ask Google for what's a rusty hook, and you got the actual answer from like what's that stupid humor site with definitions of bad things.
Urban
You know which one I
Dictionary.
mean, right? Yeah, Urban Dictionary, exactly. You got the definition from there, and then they
Ow.
filtered it out because that was horrible.
Don't make me remember things. That hurts. No. Completely okay. Share. Today is Community Day. Please share. So, what are you sharing with us, Owen? And that's why I don't say okay, G, because I know that I've triggered other people's assistant. I don't say that. I don't say Janice or the
Or
other chick.
like EXA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Napalm, did you see what I did before? Were you here when I mentioned it?
What you did before? What do you mean? What did you
Yeah.
do this time, Thindal?
I pushed a button that said submit session.
Okay.
I
For
responded,
Sweet Talk?
yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Yeah, I wanted to, but I honestly just life didn't have the time to write anything up.
Well, I haven't written anything either, so I'm just
Yeah, you had to
hoping
write
I'll
an
get in,
abstract,
and
didn't
then I
you?
can. Yeah, but that's like what 100 words.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even look that far ahead.
It's I read up on it, and it's basically just the blurb that's on the website.
I mean, I could just give GPT a topic and say, write the abstract for my conference talk.
Go for it. I mean, they'll pay flights.
I thought about it.
It would be nice to meet you.
Yeah, maybe someday.
Lion, you too. Come here.
Awkward pause. I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
So what are we looking
Yeah.
at here?
We are looking
Basic?
at basic.
No thanks.
No thanks.
Give me a command to
is
make a ball bounce
the
across the screen. I've
just a
forgotten all of my
40K
basic.
actually 40K, or is that just a fake? The memory size. Can we use more memory than the 41780?
Machine has 512K of RAM.
Yes, this emulator is like it's realistic or good enough copy that you only have access to that amount of memory as well. So you could run your application either here or on an actual device, right?
President Fisher says, I used 48K of RAM and I liked it.
Yeah. My Spectrum is a 48K plus, so it's fancy. I've also got the plastic keyboard on it instead of the rubber keys that it came with from the beginning or in the beginning.
I just download more RAM when I need it.
Absolutely, which you can do with solid state drives.
Hey, Owen, then we had the exact same device. Although, I mean, I started poking at it in 91 or 92 on a monochrome TV that my dad gave me. Well, gave me, it was his stuff, but yeah, he lent it to me. He allowed me to use it. I'm old?
You guys are old.
Oh, Owen is old.
Did you guys see that Seagate still they're manufacturing spinning drives still, right? And they come out with some ungodly huge spinning drive. I'm talking like hundreds of terabytes in a single drive. Probably way more expensive than I could ever afford, but just the idea of having that many terabytes in a single drive is very appealing.
I
I'm
have
Still
downloading
making
the internet.
spinning drives, like the actual
terabytes.
heck.
Yeah, there's still SATA spinning drives. I don't think
Yeah,
they
but
make
I've got
SSDs at
like
Seagate.
I've got
That might
4
be what this
spinning
one is.
drives at 10 terabytes each in my NAS, and I've got
Yeah, I mean 10 is
2
big,
times
but
8. Yeah,
in a
and I got
world
2
with
times 8
300,
in my desktop. Yeah, I mean they go up to insane amounts, but did you know
I was gonna plug in my
that up
NAS.
until about a year and a half, 2 years ago, you could actually buy new magnetic tapes, for music.
Oh. Like
But
cassette
about a
tapes.
year and a half ago, the last factory manufacturing them closed down.
I literally have a box of spinning hard drives, some IDE, some SATA, that I need to wipe or destroy in my basement. Seems like everybody gives me
IDE.
their own hard
Didn't
drive.
it
Take
feel
care
like
of this.
that? It's like you don't want to just toss
IDE.
it out or send it to the recycle because you have data on there and you're not sure you want other people to have access to that data. But you're never gonna erase it.
Yeah, I've thought about taking a drill press and just one at a time, zoom, zoom, zoom down through the platters.
There are like recycling plants or whatever you want to call it, where you can just dump hard drives down a sewer and will turn them into more or less dust.
Well, that's what I want. I want a hard drive shredder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they
But
can.
sadly, they don't sell them at a consumer level yet, which is
No,
disappointing.
but
that's
here in Sweden, you
cool.
can use one for like what, $10?
Oh, geez, we don't have that here.
Just-
I think you have to trust to send it to somewhere that they're going
yeah,
to shred it. I'm
exactly.
like,
It's
I'm
like
not cool
you
with
may
that.
as well
No.
just buy a big magnet and wipe it yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Well, kind of works, but if someone really wants the data, they can usually read it.
Right.
Because you'll still have like magnetic plus and minus poles or whatever on the disk. They'll only be really like equalized, but you can still read the data on there. But we're
Yeah, I don't know much
talking
about it.
about, government level money here to be able
I
to do
mean,
that.
if Best Buy Geek Squad was actually useful, they would have a shredder in Best Buy stores that I could take them to and dump them
It'd
in.
still be really hard to
absolutely.
maintain. Oh my goodness.
No, but I mean, you know those double axle
I
wheel
don't.
shoey thingies? You don't?
I don't. Nope. I
That
don't care
eat
much
like
for the
anything.
physical world stuff.
Now we can put like a couch down there and it'll turn it into mulch. Nothing. Like a hard drive won't even face it.
How long though?
Yeah.
How
My
long?
current posture is kind
Is it
of
made of
like Wow
vibranium
Guy.
steel?
Do you remember him?
No. Do you have a link?
Sure. I can look it up. Then I have to sit up
Send
properly.
him the let me Google that for you link.
I just Googled it myself, but I'm finding The Witcher, Wild Guy Karen Clancy from 2019, Freddie Cannon, Wild Guy Remastered. Yeah, there's a lot of Wild Guy, and also some pretty
There you go.
racy
It's
book
in the chat.
covers. No, I've never. Oh, it's a South Park thing?
Yeah, that's my current posture.
Oh. Which is why you made that noise when you got up. It was.
Yeah, exactly. There's a guy who actually cosplayed him at a BlizzCon. That was a bit funny.
Latest thing for the OS is that I'm reinventing.
Could be
my
worse
defaults.
knowing
Ooh.
South Park. There was that episode with the dude that watches the computer screens of everybody in the bathroom.
Even this picture, I don't like it. Says stupid soft. That sounds terrible. You
I
should
have
Oh
not do
yeah,
no
that.
it
idea
was
about
awful.
I have no idea about which one that was, Napalm. Watches the
I'll find a
computer
link for
screens
you.
in the bathroom? Yeah, please.
Yeah, so they had like the toilet safety administration because a lady, you know, the women have the thing about shutting the lid of the toilet when you're done with it, right? And she got stuck in it and died. So they imposed the toilet safety administration TSA for people to buckle up on the toilet,
Nice.
and that's how they enforced it.
Nice. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
That show's so inappropriate and hilarious.
Disappropriate, but whatever. I'll let you speak your good English on this channel.
Is it disappropriate, not inappropriate?
No, it's
disappropriate
inappropriate.
here.
What?
You're gonna confuse the Swedish guy.
I
Yes,
mean,
you are. But the question is Sean confusing me or are you confusing me?
No, Sean is telling you the truth.
there is no Sean
By the
here,
way.
only Napalm.
By
have
the
no
way,
idea who
do you
Sean
want
is.
Napalm or do you want Sean?
Well, let's
with
just go with Napalm.
Yeah, for Shizzle.
You can
If
call me
you
Brian.
want to, you may call me Eric, but it's entirely optional.
Owen
I
says
know
he
you
works
as
for a Swedish
Thindal.
company. Yeah.
Thindal and One Lion. Only handles here.
One
Lion.
maybe 2 lions, maybe 3 lion, maybe 11 lion, maybe 11D lion, maybe guy. There
So
really was
you
a
guys
thing
would
that I was
know.
going to ask
Who's the
about.
dude that's usually on voice chat talking about Kubernetes?
Peter, live coding.
Who?
Live coding.
What's live coding? That's what I thought. Okay.
Live coding. It was probably
I feel
now
like
driving.
he's seen things.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, there was a thing that happened recently. Nope, not going to remember. No, it was we were sharing horror stories is what happened, and someone had a very similar horror story to the one that I had at the arsenal, which was pretty much deleting random snapshots for virtual machines that are part of a cumulative snapshot and losing data in an irreplaceable way, trying to go to the backup tapes, finding out they're all empty because we haven't had backups running for like 3 years because the person doing the backups wasn't maintaining them. Oh, it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah, Owen, I'm Swedish. Didn't you know this?
We're talking disasters. Whoop, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. No.
I was just gonna say if we're talking disasters at an employer that shall not be named, they were running the largest SQL Server enterprise license you could possibly pay for there, and we're in the process of upgrading from 2008 to I don't even think it was the latest at the time. I want to say it was 16 when 2018 was out. I want to say is there 2018? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Anyway, they found that a node was corrupting a whole bunch of data, and when they went to the backups, like you said, they were completely empty. So that was fun.
I can't even remember why
this
our
is why
backup
we
stopped
should not
working.
do on-premises databases.
I remember why our backup stopped working. The software that was used to do the backups was writing logs, and the log file was too big, and the disk space was full. And so, because it failed at writing a log, it couldn't create the backup to the tape. I don't know how that works. I may be misremembering too.
I'm still running a SQL Server on IaaS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm going to be moving over directly to SaaS instead.
I might be misremembering. I think the backups all had copies of the corrupted data, so that was the problem, which was just epic. Nobody bothered to validate that the backups were actually good.
No, you just every week or so, you just take 5 tapes to the bank, store it in the vault because you have offsite protection.
What was bad is they had monitoring on it. It had been alerting them for years there was a problem.
Oh gosh.
No.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, you just use it as a story and are like, it was fun times. That's all I can do. Because even after we found it out, I was the one that brought home all of, I don't even remember how I did it, but I got a copy of all of the snapshots and I used some tool to try to recover all of the data that I could from them. But we still ended up losing like, I don't know, a month and a half's worth of data. Like these are user drives and profile stuff and shared network storage. Yeah. So thankfully, no database stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of the attitude these days that the managed databases are well worth the premium.
Yeah. I agree.
As I try to run stuff on my K3s cluster, which, databases, let alone hosting them yourself, but hosting them on Kubernetes is a whole other hand grenade.
Plus, I
And there's
mean, I'm a small company, so I'm trying to, it's called penny pinch. But my current server has to be fairly well endowed with RAM, with memory, because the SQL Server is using tons. So I could actually save a lot of money by moving it over to a SaaS solution.
I mean, the trick though is like we wanted to move our database. I mentioned we were on like the highest license tier Microsoft had available. We wanted to move that to the cloud. Wasn't that size not offered in the cloud? I guess it's just like completely uneconomical for them to try to provide that as a managed service at that capacity.
at that time,
I-
or is this recent?
No,
It
I
was at
think-
that time. I mean, it's been a few years now, but Azure
Yeah, I
didn't have
think you
that tier
can
back then.
kind of. I think they have a tier for everything now.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
Hmm.
people are going to blindly throw money at the cloud, then you might as well really let them blindly throw money.
Yeah.
So, Owen, were you saying that as a funny thing, as a can't believe people would recommend this, or did that actually work? So Owen said, I remember the advice on how to optimize an Oracle database, restore all default settings. That really
Oracle, may
works.
God have mercy on your soul.
I mean, that's saying something about them, that their default settings really are the best way to run their servers, I guess.
Contrary to
So-
popular belief, I hear Oracle Cloud is actually not bad. I won't look at it, but
Having
Last time I used
never actually
Oracle was
used
in
an Oracle database.
Oh yeah, mine was
Yeah,
in 2011.
having never actually used an Oracle database, I'd say that my view of it is that the best feature of Oracle is their salespeople and their billing department.
oh no, it's the restrictive licensing that they can just gouge the hell out of you with.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Like, I mean, whatever you do, it's going to be expensive.
I mean, and that's why AWS basically just built an Oracle compatible solution and said, use ours.
Lols and not LOLs. I guess you guys are waiting on me, huh? So,
Not sure.
I mean, it
I
is
really-
your show.
I really did have a question that I wanted to ask, and it wasn't the one about finding some kind of automation tool for doing screenshots for a specs thing. Although I really appreciated the help on that. There was like, I really can't remember what it was, but I really wanted to use it as a topic for today. So one of the topics is throwing exceptions versus cleanly handling the exceptions, but potentially having a lot more conditional statements. Do you have
Funny
any
you should
thoughts
bring that
on
up. We were talking about that on a different stream today. I was anyway.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can't stand the ASP.NET stuff that'll let you capture I think it's a filter or something like that. It'll let you capture exceptions up at the
Called
top of the
dispatcher?
HTTP stack. Yeah.
Mhm.
I absolutely hate that because it doesn't let the exception really happen where it was supposed to happen.
Right.
But I don't want to litter everything with try catches and go.
Exceptions are for errors.
But there's a lot of errors.
Yeah, but like actual code errors, like a null check, for example, is a great thing. If it's something that you as a programmer might do, like you didn't handle the input correctly, then an exception. But if it's something that a user might do, like not fill out a field, then like a return.
Well, that's a validation
Message
rule.
with it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, those ones are clear cut. It's when, I don't know, like you have a database or something that doesn't return a value. Technically, it's going to bubble up a null object, and at some point, that'll be an exception unless you check it otherwise.
Yeah.
Nullable reference checks try to make that easier for you, but I'll be completely honest with you. I feel like nullable reference checks force you down that path where you have to build essentially generic objects that have different representations. So like an empty state object versus null.
Right.
And that feels ugly as all get out to me. I don't like that pattern.
So here's one really quick example. I just added to an interface a new method that is void essentially. Like, let's just make it void so we can make it super clear. It's void. And it is a thing that will either succeed or fail. And the way that they are communicating whether this thing fails and why it failed is by manually throwing some new application exception with the information about it. If it failed, what do you think about doing stuff like that? In your own code base API, this is a shared package that is used in our front end application.
Then your consumer has to know about the exception. I don't know. Seems a little sticky.
I mean, you could definitely do that easily, but this to me just feels very like not the correct way. If you have control over how to implement this, why wouldn't you have it return some kind of object that has the information about what you're expecting to potentially fail if you're already going to fail for those reasons?
See, I was always kind of the attitude that you only throw exceptions and let them bubble up uncaught if you're in a position where you can't handle it. Like if you want the application to effectively, I don't know, be dead in the water, it can't move forward from that point, throw an exception. If you can handle it gracefully for them and they can still continue doing whatever it is they're doing, don't throw an exception.
Okay. That's
Kind of the attitude languages like Go follow. So Go has the concept of an error, and actually they kind of go to the nth degree where every function literally returns two values, a return value and error value, and you have to if check it everywhere, which is kind of crazy, makes a bit of a mess. But they also have the concept of a panic, and a panic is only to be used where you can't continue. It's an error, but it stops things dead in its tracks.
Interesting. My main concern about it was if it is a function that's getting called often and it's potentially going through a try catch to get to that, because how else are you going to handle this exception that this other method is throwing every time? When you aren't using the actual catch block, it still needs to set up the try catch, which is overhead. So why not just go ahead and have your API method cleanly return some expected response that says, here's the success status of the thing that happened, and here's the information related to it. In all cases, or just about all cases. Did it make sense?
The quiet.
I'm not sure I caught that one. Yeah.
So if you are the one making your API, so by API, I mean the library that has a whole bunch of callable methods, and you get to say, this is how you call this method, this is the shape of the data that you feed it, this is the shape of data that you get back. Why not cover all of the exceptions that you're expecting instead of throwing yourself, throw new application exception or whatever, instead of throwing an exception and having the UI or whoever's consuming it put a try catch around it, why not just go ahead and return some kind of data that is specifically, it has like a succeeded flag, and then
I'm with you.
any extra stuff to go with it.
There's a really funny meme on this. The whole API sending a 200 with an error message in it.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just reading this comment.
No. I was just referring to the whole sending. Like, there's a holy war in REST development of response codes being just
Right,
network
right.
level errors versus, actual like application type errors. Like, you don't find something in the database, return a 404 versus returning a 200 with an empty object or a 201 or something like that. So, I mean, I've seen it done that way, but like, I guess it kind of goes back to, do you anticipate if they call that they won't be able to continue in their application because of, I don't know, some core thing missing? If so, then probably what you're suggesting makes sense. If not, throw the exception and stop them dead. Like, if maybe there's a hierarchy going there, like,
And
I don't know, you
yeah, so
have
what
this
you're
method you
saying,
call, and you typically call another one after. If you can't do that, I think that's a good case where you throw the exception between them.
right? Yeah, that definitely makes sense to me. As far as like, so I don't know if I've mentioned this before or if you've heard me mention this before, but the application that I'm working on is a diagnostics application that does hardware test on a physical machine. So what you're saying to me sounds like we have a lot of Windows API calls, and so there's not much you can do about how you handle those. But oh my gosh, I was going somewhere with it. I had it in order. Um, so if we do this call to this DLL and that DLL doesn't exist on the machine, so it's not available and it creates an exception, then the tool that's using it from our backend that we're accessing from the front end, that currently they manually catch the exception and then rethrow it. Not as in create a new stack trace, it still, preserves stack trace, but they
Yeah, you don't
rethrow it.
throw a new exception, you just, throw
Yeah,
a
just throw.
semicolon on the old one. Yeah.
Exactly. So they do that. But it's like if you are anticipating, and it's catching the specific exception too, by the way. So if you're anticipating this exception happening, and that's the thing that tells the application this thing is not available, then why not just return the object, a boolean that says failed or not available or whatever?
I think the
Because
only case where you'd want to, return an exception instead of returning in, a result code would be if you want to handle it multiple steps up. Like something can fail in the repository layer in the database access layer or data access layer, and you might want to deal with it like 5 steps up in the, I don't know, UI area to just display an error message. Instead of having
Yeah.
to bubble the error down all the way through all of the layers to get to the UI layer to display the same thing. Does that make sense?
I don't think what you're saying is wrong necessarily there, one lion. I think you could do it. I mean, it depends, right? Like, if this situation works for you to do that, absolutely. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I just
But
consider
this
it
is
works
kind
go
of
ahead.
where I was just gonna say, this is kind of where, and I hate saying this because I never like to give Java any credit. This is where Java has a little bit of an edge in that they kind of document the exceptions that are off of a method call, so they're right there.
I mean, we should.
I mean, you can document them, but like, they're actually reserved arguments. You have to declare the exceptions that a method can send up front with the method definition.
I think you can add that as a linter because there's a / comment that is exception.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
You
I've
can
seen it in an XML doc, and it probably serves essentially the same purpose, but it's very explicit in Java. You can see it right on the IntelliSense.
Yeah, but you can do that in IntelliSense as well. You know the / comments on functions?
Yeah, which I just showed, by the way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
has
guess
the
maybe it's a
exception
little
part as well.
different. Yeah.
You can add a linter as well that will, say, oh, so you're throwing this exception. You haven't documented that you might be throwing this exception.
Oh, true. Okay.
Bad you.
Yeah,
Bad you.
and
I
then
don't
treat it
think
as
that'll mostly deal with, bubbled through exceptions though.
Right.
But the ones
That'd
that
be
you
fun.
throw, you can fairly easily document that way.
All right. I
Yeah.
learned something because I don't think I don't typically use the XML doc comments. I'm guilty.
I used to be
I-
really, really adamant about it.
I
I try to
tried,
do
and
it
then
as
I
soon
got
as
sick.
someone else might touch something. I tried
I
to
got
document
sick
it
of
properly.
seeing the method description as get item from database, gets the item
Oh,
from
yeah.
database. Thank you.
But that's
Oh,
where
yeah.
you
That's great.
use something like Sandcastle or something that generates the documents for you for those situations. But for me, it really was a matter of here's an obscure sounding variable name that makes sense to me, and I know exactly what it's supposed to be used for, and this really should be the right name. But then you're like, if someone else reads this, I don't know what else to name it for them to know.
Always go with the rule of thumb, like libraries and public stuff, but then that's pretty much the only time I
Yeah.
use the XML comments.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly.
I've never
Same
seen good
here.
auto-generated docs.
That
And
actually sounds like that would be an interesting Chat GPT plugin. Effectively, generate my XML dot comment for this method,
Right.
telling me what you think it does.
Actually,
I think that might actually work with Copilot.
All right, I'm gonna have to pony up the $10 a month as much as I don't want to give Microsoft more money.
Copilot and especially Copilot Chat is incredible. It is easily
Copilot
worth
X out yet?
It's called Copilot Chat, GitHub Copilot
Okay.
Chat even, and it's not out, but it's not difficult to get into the preview.
Oh,
they
that's
only
cool.
give me get lookup items unless you attended Microsoft.
You need to
Build.
have a license for Copilot though, and I mean that's easily
Yeah,
worth the
yeah.
$10 a month as well.
Yeah,
Wait,
the
are we
downside
hating
is
on
I can't use
Microsoft?
it for work. Like,
Hey, yes,
here's what
Bill.
I want. I want a Copilot license for business that I can turn off the telemetry syncing with, that I can use for work. But I'm not a bit like the
Wow.
business isn't getting it for me. I want to use it myself. They won't sell me a business license, which is kind of annoying.
But yeah, this is blah. If you guys can still see my virtual camera, this is the documentation that it generated for my getter method for the lookup items, and it's better than the auto-generated docs that you get from other things, from other extensions, in my opinion.
That's
Well, I
better
mean,
than
the
a lot of
type term
developers
type
type.
off is kind of worthless, but
Yeah,
A
because I
little,
mean,
but
like,
it's
it really
better.
should have read my constrained to having a
Mhm.
constructor, being a concrete object, and must implement these two interfaces.
I mean that's a basic get. Do you have like a logical function somewhere?
Yeah,
Like it does a job? They could ask it to do the same thing?
as in like a background task.
Yeah, or something that, calculates something.
Because I have updater. I mean, I have the CRUD
I
operations,
mean,
and that's
these are
about
CRUD
it.
operations more or
Yeah,
less.
that's about it.
But you have something that sums something
Do
up,
I
right?
though? I mean, part of the getters are to sum our account data, so maybe I don't know. Transaction service. That's the client. Account service. Let's see. You there. Tell me about it. Get account summaries.
So tell me
It's
something. If you guys are using Copilot, which sounds like both of you are, I mean, I
Not
definitely seem
really,
to
but
hear on
yeah.
one line. Okay. Do you know if there's a way to kill it from the perspective of sending stuff back to Microsoft?
No
I think
idea.
most of it is run on Microsoft, so
Sure, but the business side has a feature that it'll send it and immediately delete it, like as soon as you're done, so they can't train models off of it.
Yeah,
That's the
I don't
big
know about that.
differentiator
Like,
between individual and business, and that's why I want a business license. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so that I can just use it safely and not worry about exposure.
right.
did that generate a example for how to call it?
Yeah, I mean, but it was the wrong method.
Okay. One thing you could do, if you put your cursor on line 45, then you press Alt
Alt
and
back.
single paragraph. Yeah, exactly. You can ask there.
Yeah.
Like,
But I wanted
document
to
this
have it
method.
selected when I did that, and I could have still had it selected when I did it.
No, but I mean, if you just do it there, it'll figure out what function you're looking at.
Truth. I've been meaning to read this one, but Owen mentioned that he's never seen any no before that. I used to document RESTful APIs. Not sure I've ever encountered a genuine REST API. We actually had a discussion about true REST APIs last week, and it's definitely more of a guideline type thing because I fret over am I doing the right thing in my getter because I need to do this search. Give me data from the database as a post because I'm sending a search model as the body of this. Should I go through the trouble of figuring out how to send it as query string params? Blech. So anyway, point is, REST is really just like, here's things to strive for, do your best. This is what
Yeah.
they're intended to be, but do it the way that makes sense for what you are doing. Thoughts? Thoughts?
I saw an article by the quote inventor end quote of REST, and he sounded annoyed because, in his opinion, no one really did REST.
Right.
But I mean, actually, who cares? Let's call it REST-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically the equivalent of you ever see the XKCD with good code and the flowchart that can never get to good code? Good rest, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know that one, but I can
XKCD
imagine.
is a
Oh, you
gold
got to
mine of
Google that
dummies.
one line. XKCD good code, I think is what it's called.
Oh yeah, okay. I've seen some of these. Yes, I will never remember this from hearing the term, but yes, I do know these. Yeah. Oh man.
Truer things have never been said.
Oh man. Hello. Hello. I love this. This is
Modern
definitely
computers have really killed parts of the funny, well, parts of the fun
marine life.
parts. I'm not sure what to call it of coding because we used to be able to do this.
Let go.
I don't think that sentence that I said made any kind of sense.
I wasn't listening because I was trying to do this marine life
Okay.
identification.
The compiling one, yeah. It's,
Yeah.
somebody made a
It
new
can-
one saying waiting for Chat GPT response or
Oh
something.
gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Maybe waiting for test runs these days, but compiling is too
Um,
darn fast.
Maybe waiting for GPT to create my tests for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that also works, and it works unexpectedly well.
Oh, he gave us a link.
And you actually don't even need chat. If you just call the you create a test class. What's this?
Okay, sorry, I like that.
Nice.
Keep talking.
Yeah. If you've got normal Copilot, you create a test class and you call it like, my class tests. And then you just go in and you type a, what's called hard bracket
Square
for
bracket.
attribute start. Yeah, square bracket. And nine times out of 9, it'll just fill out a not entirely stupid test. And then you can just repeat that a whole bunch of times and you'll have, like 20 tests that will be okay. And then you can add like edge cases and stuff, but you'll get all of the basic stuff that way.
Like,
And
it would
that's
be
what GPT
nice.
is. Yeah, and that's what Copilot is awesome for. I mean, it's for the boilerplate, the boring parts.
But here's the hard thing.
Yes, if you just go in somewhere in this file and you type a hard bracket
Well,
or a
it's
square
terrible.
bracket.
It's terrible because remember that all of my service classes. Oh, wait, never mind. This one is specific to transfer, but I use a lot of generics. So I'm really
Okay.
worried about how it would treat that.
Why isn't it filling it out? It did it for me.
because IntelliSense is trying to, or IntelliCode is trying to take over. I
Mm-hmm.
think they fight. I tried turning off IntelliCode, and then it's like, you don't have IntelliCode. Get a GitHub Copilot might not work as good.
The one that drove me nuts is Copilot messes with my Emmet plugin. I don't know if anybody uses Emmet. I love
Heard
Emmet.
of it.
No.
So
You can
it's
try with
where
chat
like
and say just generate tests.
so for those that don't know about Emmet, it's an HTML shorthand. So you can do like li star, or excuse me, would be so list item.
Oh,
It'd
yeah,
be
yeah, okay.
ul
Yeah, yeah.
li star 3, and it'll give
I
you
call
a
it Zen
list
coding.
of 3 items. Yeah, I
'cause
love that
that's
stuff.
the name of the extension that I use, not Emmet.
But
I tried
Copilot
that.
tries to be helpful and it fails.
I tried that and I went
I love
insane
it.
and I stopped trying that.
Yeah. The thing Copilot really, really sucks for me at is all of my CSS.
Yeah, it's not good at CSS. Like
It's
you really don't
terrible.
know what I'm trying to do here.
Well, it'll
Oh.
suggest something, but then you're like, okay, I want to type font, font, I don't know. Give me something. Cursor pointer. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. So then I push tab and it's like, you just accepted the thing from the dropdown. Okay, I want pointer. Wait, I want pointer. Tab. You get alias because that's the first thing in your suggestion list. And it's like, but it gave me a suggestion and I pushed tab to accept the suggestion. I've already complained about this too many times though. Because it's like you have to do 18 different things just to be able to accept whatever suggestion it's giving you.
I mean, everybody keeps saying prompt-driven development. Let's be honest, it's tab-driven development.
It's still tab.
Kinda,
tab
yeah.
to win.
Kinda, yeah. Hey, Line, try adding a comment for what you want to do.
Change the hover color to pink and increase the size using an animation. Done.
There you go.
Yeah, and this
That
actually
wasn't
does
entirely
work.
stupid. Yeah.
I wonder if it actually used I'm going to call it a CSS variable, and if anyone remembers the real name of them.
Probably not. I will say probably not.
No. It
But I
did
mean,
not
you got
use...
the basics there. Because
What? That's cheating.
I'm not sure what the ampersand colon hover does. Or
Is that when...
ampersand dot button link. I mean, what's ampersand do?
Where? This? Oh, this is Sass.
Everywhere.
Sass syntax.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
nesting.
So,
Okay.
button, dot, button, link, colon, hover.
That is
it
the
translates to.
greatest thing since sliced bread, and
I
why
love
I
it.
use Sass instead of CSS. Although supposedly CSS has nesting support now. I haven't bothered to learn it though.
It does?
It's different.
Oh.
Yeah, it's now. It's not the same syntax, I believe, but
Okay.
it's definitely ratified. And
The
I
reason
think the
why that
main
would
thing
be
I use
better...
in SAS are functions and inheritance.
And variables. Oh, and inheritance. So
oh,
like
no
mixins and
inheritance,
stuff.
no inheritance. God,
I
CSS
love
inheritance
mixins.
is hell.
Oh, regular
Yeah.
CSS. But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
reason that I would like it is because I use Sass for all of my stuff, and when you're in a big repo with a lot of UI, then you have a web compiler either installed as an extension, but I also added it as a NuGet package. So when you build, it regenerates your CSS, which gives the file a new timestamp, and then your GitHub change or your Git changes are showing all of these CSS files changed. You're like, no, they didn't. And my
Nice.
teammates are really angry at that. And it's like,
I use
I'm not going to write
BEM
this
for
in
everything.
CSS.
Like that's the religion I've found is BEM, if you haven't heard of it.
VIM? BIM?
BEM. B as in boy, EM.
Never heard of
Never
BIM.
heard of it.
It's a system for writing classes in CSS, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I'm trying to remember what's the address here. I think it's just BEM.io, but one second. Oh, getbem.com.
I will
Yeah, that
definitely
first
look
one
into
there.
that because I have
Yeah,
to do a lot of inheritance type stuff.
it works really well with nesting, but it basically keeps you from getting into specificity wars if you follow to the letter how to
Oh,
write
yeah,
styles.
yeah. So I get to battle that because I control just about everything. Like because of scope CSS, then it's like really easy for me to handle. And then I use CSS variables for anything that needs to be changed at a higher level.
A designer I used to work with gave me religion when he introduced me to that because I was very much
Awesome.
on the why am I going to waste time writing styles and I'm going to use freaking oh crap, why am I spacing on the name, Bootstrap.
Oh yeah.
And once he showed me that and I learned about CSS Grid and Flexbox, I'm like, I don't need Bootstrap anymore.
That
I'm
looks the same to
trying
me.
to unlearn Bootstrap more or less. I mean, I've been
Yeah, it's
using
convenient
Bootstrap
till it's
since
not.
ever. Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to, the current thing I'm working on, I'm trying to do like, pure CSS. No framework or anything. Just
Grid is
use
life,
what
man.
I need. Use what I need and nothing else.
There is an excellent CSS Grid course. It's free by Wes Boss. Changed my mind on
But
writing
grids are
my
so
own.
easy these days. And again,
Oh yeah,
that was the main thing that I needed Bootstrap for because grids used to be difficult and stupid. They aren't anymore.
oh, it's so simple. Freaking love it.
Yeah.
Instead of using display relative and absolute and all that
It's the
garbage that made no
same
sense.
picture.
Yeah. Now you say, yeah, I want a grid, done. Or what is it, Flexbox is also like it's
The one
simple.
I actually will give WPF credit
There's
here.
John.
They kind of brought the whole grid style to light.
Yeah, definitely.
Clicked on it. Oh, geez. You know what? Did I ever?
Although, I mean, I used to do table layouts in HTML.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
had to pry
tables
tape
are used
like
for
cold dead hand.
tables.
They were used for everything once upon a
I
timeline.
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Now it's all
I mean,
div soup.
you set it to cell spacing and cell padding 0, and then you had images of your entire UI, like how it went around corners and stuff, and you just use that in tables.
Is this no longer
Tables
public?
were the web. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, it was how you did things.
That was the only way to do it back then.
Yeah, if you do it today, you deserve to be shot. But back
Get off
then,
my lawn. I'm just going to write div soup these days.
You
Yeah.
can't get into fast class
Although,
anymore.
honestly, I was given religion on semantic HTML as well with sections and articles instead of
Oh,
just
yeah.
div.
I still have
I
trouble
can
mixing
never
up
decide
articles and
which one to
sections.
use. Yeah, exactly. I can never decide when to use one or the
There's
other.
an
And you have
amazing flow chart out there. Let's see if I
I
can
look at
find
it
it.
every time.
Yeah, semantic
I just can't
HTML.
solidify it. Trailer time. On to
I printed it off
volume
and
two,
put it
11.
on my cue wall for years.
it's like, is main your content or your content
It
container?
depends.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's more of a
Does main
container.
contain the menu, the nav?
Not
Or is
in
main
my
only
structure.
the content box area thing? Or is the content box area an article?
This is where
Am I making sense?
I would need to refer
Yeah.
you to the picture because there are
Yeah,
so
I'm
many
typing the
pictures that
link in.
have the sections.
This is the one I use, assuming I keyed that incorrectly because I'm on my iPad.
Okay, I'll check it in 20-ish seconds. Count.
Start the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Main layout. Okay. So apparently for me, yes, my nav menu is in main. Interesting. But
No, isn't
sidebars
top
can
bar
have
your...
mains as well. No, top bar is the top bar.
Okay.
Nav menu is the side nav. Okay, was that 20
All right.
seconds?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have not seen this one. I've only seen the pictures of like, here's a page, here are some colored blocks that have each section.
But where is main in this?
I don't see it.
If it's not on this flowchart, it doesn't exist. So I didn't know it existed.
Nice. I was trying to take this over to Firefox. So we are coming up on time. It has been amazing fun with you guys, though. You came up with some really
So-
good stuff to talk about.
Real quick, so Mojo, main would be like your entire container that would like, center all your content, for example, and then everything would go inside a main,
Not always, though.
in your opinion?
According to this, main isn't even a thing. Just like
It
his
is a
flowchart.
thing.
Yeah, so here's
there you
here's
go.
the one that
There
I
it is.
keep looking at. But I have seen things that are different than this.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised main is a thing. I literally had no idea because, yeah, it's not on this chart.
All right, yeah. So that makes sense, and that's kind of how I've been using it.
Main
Okay,
is
but
the
if
new body.
Mojo, if main is the new body, then why do we have body?
Yeah.
My body doesn't nest another body unless
where
I
I'm
have
saying,
some
like-
kind of Siamese twin thing going on.
Think
Yeah,
of
but you can't
this
like
inside
center
of
a body, right? If you want margins and stuff, right? You can't
You
put
can
a
center the
margin or a
body.
padding. Yeah, but you can't put a margin or
Yeah.
a padding on the body, right?
You can.
Or
I don't
a
know.
width.
Feels redundant to me.
You definitely can. So the document is HTML. Body is inside of the document.
Mm.
I
I think I like that image where main was, the content part of the page.
And the reason that I
Main-
like that one is because if you consider this being in a different part of the same page, you can still have this exact same structure. So you could have your overall page and then you could have a flyout that has this same structure in it, or a card that has this structure in it.
But I don't know, that's a different one. I think I prefer the one to the left of that, I think.
The
Or
main body is
maybe
better
up
looking
to
than
the
the
right.
secondary body.
That one.
Bottom line is, while tags are definitely important for accessibility and stuff, the real issue is that I'm lazy and don't type ARIA attributes in when I should.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you'd
same
rather
here.
use semantic. That's cool.
I
though.
use them instead of div soup is my main thing, so I can see what's where.
I mean, it's all
especially
exactly.
with the slash.
They're all still
Especially
just
with the
different
end tags.
containers.
Yeah, but they're not all called div.
Yeah, the problem is when you use a screen reader, Duca, it gets a little bit messy. Have you guys ever tried that? It's eye opening.
It was one of the main things that
that
I
was
had to do.
poorly.
nice one.
Oh,
Nice
that
one.
was poorly timed, I guess. But
Yeah. I think the best issue, or no, definitely not the best, but the easiest way to deal with the sight impaired people is say screw them and pretend they don't exist.
You
Please
can get out
don't
of my
do
chat
that.
room now.
It's evil and
Goodbye.
bad. And stop.
dang, I'm not so worried about swearing anymore.
Yeah,
But it's the easy way
Let's
of
just
doing
offend an entire class of people.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can't do that.
It's
though.
a
People are
sight
suing now.
impaired, right?
It's for visually impaired, or a lot of the semantic stuff can also be done using, or not done using, done for people that have limited mobility, or they don't like a lot of activity, so too much motion on the screen. So there's a lot of things that go into accessibility that this can help with.
Oh
My
yeah,
point was,
it's hard and
don't do
time
what I
consuming.
just said.
Yeah.
Don't do what I
Yeah.
just said. Because
Exactly.
I used to do that and then I got yelled at, so I stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Well, yelled at. I got asked politely, could you please? And I said, absolutely, I'm terribly sorry.
There's another good job for an AI. Make this accessible. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that means the AI needs to be able to understand it. And
Sure.
can it understand it without the accessibility tags?
I mean,
How about instead of large language models, micro HTML language models that can make things accessible?
yeah, that are kind of specific to the domain. Makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. With that, though, I'm going to have to call it a day because I need to get back to work. Put my time in.
Shut up, Thindal and Napalm.
Oh, no. It's 12:30.
Kinda,
That's, or
kinda.
it's after 12:30, which is when I usually end my stream. Nothing about what you guys did. So
It's been a great
good
stream, though.
conversation. Let's do it again next Friday.
Absolutely.
Any last words from you guys?
I will not be able to be here next Friday because I will probably be in Germany at that point.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
going road tripping over to Europe.
I'll probably have to do things next Friday, to be honest. Today was a bit of an anomaly.
Well, it was a fun time having you here.
Yeah, it was fun being here.
Ooh.
I'll try to be here more often.
As Thindal really casually request that you don't post it on YouTube with that comment he made.
Yeah. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. I excused myself afterwards.
I'm picking.
Said I'm sorry. Yeah, you're allowed to. I'm trying to be fun. What's that?
Anyway, we won't get into that. This is a thing that not many males are supposed to be able to do, even though just about every guy that. Anyway,
I was wondering what you were up to. Anyway.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. So, thank you guys for being here. I'm going to sign off.
Yep. Have a good weekend, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, likewise. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Juice. Juice. All right, and that is our time here. But as a special treat, just because I have never, ever done this on my stream, we're going to watch, with your permission, of course, IGJ, with audio. I need to find out how loud this thing is. This is the up-and-coming game, Rise of Piracy, who is now being published by Microprose. So let's hear some wonderful trailer thing. I'm gonna move. Hashtag not sponsored, by the way. Just awesomeness. Yes. Early Access 2022. Yeah. That'll be on that, but that's okay. It's still going to be an awesome game. If you guys are interested in watching that getting developed, check out Irish John Games, who streams it on his channel daily. But I just wanted to do that because I haven't done that ever. So 2020 to be determined. But yeah. All right. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, though. Thanks for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed the conversations that we had with Thindal and Napalm. Catch Thindal streams when he's active. I forgot to ask him when the next time he's going to stream is. Don't really know when he's going to leave for Germany. But yeah, if you feel like putting it in chat, when's your next stream? Tomorrow. I might be there. I might be working. Who knows? But next Thursday is when you're leaving. Cool. But as for me, I will not be back until Monday. But on Monday, we will hopefully finish out the remaining bits and pieces of the financial management tracker. Leaving for France next Thursday, but you will be in Germany eventually. Cool. All right. Okay. Well, that's going to be it for me for today. I am not going to raid because it's way past my bedtime. And by bedtime, I mean I need to get back to work. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take it easy. I will see you the next time you are around. This video will be posted to YouTube no sooner than 24 hours after I end the stream. I'm going to keep waving. And I will hug my project manager for you, Thindal. I turn the music up and down and up. Okay. Ciao. See you on Discord. See you on other people's channels. Bye.